Ferrell from RllrrL Drum Studio back with another video. Apologize for my voice. For almost a week now I've been battling something. I don't know if it's a cold or allergies or sinus infection or what, but feeling much better than I was a few days ago. At any rate, I'm going to make a new video today talking about my absolute favorite rudiment, and this is another video that I had previously done and unfortunately was lost out on the YouTubes in cyberspace. But basically in my previous video I had talked about how you could take the 6-stroke roll and then add a conjunction, meaning like an extra sticking, which in this case was right, left, left, to create a 9-note grouping, which would just give you some really cool variations when you alternated between the 6-stroke roll and then the 6-stroke roll plus the right, left, left conjunction. So today I'm going to kind of revisit that, but I'm also going to talk about some other cool stuff you can do with the 6-stroke roll that some of my really good teachers taught me. So for any beginners out there, let's just talk about the 6-stroke roll first. So this is a rudiment that doesn't alternate, meaning if you want to play more than one in a row, it's always going to come back to the hand that you start with. Kind of an easy way to tell if a rudiment's going to alternate or not is that if it starts and ends on the same hand, then it's going to alternate, okay? So if it starts and ends on a different hand, then it's not going to alternate. So for the purposes of today's video, we're going to talk about the right-handed 6-stroke roll, okay? So I practice all these things left-handed too, not so much for use around the drum set, but mainly just to build my left hand. Since I'm a right-handed drummer, my left hand's always requiring work. So the sticking for the 6-stroke roll is you have a right accented note and then a pair of doubles, left, left, right, right, and then a left accented note, okay? So the way I look at it, it's like the singles are bookends and you're bookending two pairs of doubles, okay? So slowly it would look like this. Right, left, left, right, right, left. Now there's two ways you can phrase this. The first way is what I call the kind of militaristic or rudimental way. And I kind of feel it like 8th notes and 16th notes. Like 1 and a 2E and 3 and a 4E and 1. So there's like a little bit of a pause that you can feel in between the single notes and the doubles. So if I speed that up a little, you'll really hear how it sounds, you know, kind of marchy and militaristic. Okay? Now the other way that we can play it is to take those 6 notes and even out the space in between the notes, creating what we call a sextuplet, which is a 6-note grouping that takes the place of one pulse. Typically I feel these as 16th note triplets, okay? So when I play it this time, you'll hear that it has that triplety kind of rolling motion, okay? That's my preferred way of playing them, just because I think it sounds hipper. And the way that I got turned on to these was I started noticing them in songs, and of course at a younger age I didn't know what they were. And through some asking around with some friends, I learned it was a 6-stroke roll, and then there were some other combinations as well, okay? So the 6-stroke roll, right, left, left, right, right, left. So it's a right-handed 6-stroke roll. Now if we add an extra right, left, left, we can create this kind of cool conjunction, okay? So check this out. So now, instead of the sextuplet, which sounds up to speed like gudge, gadudge, 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 we get gudge, gadudge, gudge, gadudge, gudge. So just by taking those two stickings and kind of alternating them, you can create some really cool phrases. So now I'm going to take some of these stickings here that I just demonstrated, and we're going to apply them around the drum set. Okay, so now let's take a look at some of the ways that I like to apply the 6-stroke roll around the drum set. Okay, the place you should always start when you take a rudiment, or any sticking pattern for that matter, and orchestrate it around the drum set, is to just put the accents on a different sound source, okay? So one of my favorite books that I learned from, that I use with my students, is The New Breed by Gary Chester. And one of the things he talks about is taking the drum set and breaking it right down the middle. He called it territorial rights. So things on the right hand side of the drum set you can hit with your right hand. Things on the left hand side of the drum set you can hit with your left hand, okay? So we're going to have accents that land both on the right and the left. So how about we put the right accent on the floor tom and the left accent up here. Once you get comfortable with that, then you can move it around. Okay? You can also, hit cymbals too. I don't have another crash cymbal here, but if I did, I would use that instead of the right. But you can come up with some nice little combinations. Okay? Now, one of the most famous fills in the history of rock drumming is what's called the Motown fill. And I guarantee if you search for it in YouTube, you'll see about 8 million different guys explaining it to you. But it's based on the 6-stroke roll, okay? So we're going to use the high tom, the snare, and the floor tom here. So I'm going to play my 6-stroke roll between the high tom and the snare drum. Right, left, left, right, right. And then I'm going to go left, right, right. So I'm going to add a different conjunction than I talked about in the first part of this video when we were over on the pad. So right, left, left, right, right, left, right, right. So you hear that like in My Girl and the beginning of Ain't Too Proud to Beg. Stuff like that. Very, very cool fill. Gets used a lot, but it's cool. I never get tired of it. Now, talking about that conjunction, the right, left, left, right, right, left, right, left, left. One of the teachers I studied with, a great guy by the name of Chuck Silberman, who's really hip on different Latin things, he taught me how you could use the 6-stroke roll in that conjunction to fill in the spaces of a really popular Latin pattern called the Cascara. So the typical Cascara sounds like this. So you'll hear it like in a, like in a Latin groove. Like that. So he taught me how I could feel those accents, da 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 da, and so forth on my right hand, but use the sticking of the 6-stroke roll plus the extra right, left, left to kind of flesh out or fill in between those accents, which would sound like this. So you can use the heck out of that. You could use it for a fill, you could solo with it, just move it around the drum set. That's a great lick right there. I use it a lot, and I wish I could take credit for it, but I can't. I learned it from Chuck. Can't take credit for the Motown fill either, because I lifted that. And pretty much everything I do, I lift it off of somebody. So anyhow, 6-stroke roll, very, very cool lick. My favorite of all the 40 international rudiments, that by far is my favorite one. I use it all the time. So I hope this video might inspire you guys to work on your 6-stroke roll. Again, I know I've said this in other videos, but I love the fact that we can take these rudiments that are hundreds of years old, that were designed for marching snare, and apply them around the kit and make them sound pretty hip. So until the next video, take care guys and keep drumming.